I spent a good 3 hours last night scouring the internet for a good answer to this question, because I like coming on here and giving you guys actionable solutions to improve your access to reproductive health care. But sadly, this time I didn't really find anything. I found some resources that may help undocumented people that I'll make another video about, and I found some options for anonymous pregnancy testing, but that's kind of where it stops. I was hoping that I would be able to find some resources that offered longer term pregnancy care beyond just testing and other types of reproductive health care that are being restricted right now anonymously. Because to me, anonymous care seemed like it would be the best option. If the doctor doesn't know who you are, they can't report you, and there won't be any information to be shared with law enforcement or subpoenaed to be used against you. But unfortunately, every resource and provider that I could find does require you to show photo ID to access treatment, which does make sense. They need that information for billing purposes and insurance purposes and contacting you when they need to. And anonymous healthcare is definitely rife with possibilities for problems, don't get me wrong. But in this scenario, I think it's something that we need to think about and consider how we could get access to something like that, how we could make something like that happen. The only options I've discovered to make that possible are legally dubious at best and not ones that I can publicly recommend or encourage. So the next best thing would be to go to a clinic that you know is trustworthy and that you know will fight for your rights. Clinics like Planned Parenthood. Go to clinics like Planned Parenthood that have a very long history of being very pro bodily autonomy and fighting for their clients' rights. You are absolutely right to not trust doctors and hospitals when it comes to this, because research has already shown a very significant percentage of reports made against people accessing this type of reproductive health care were made by healthcare providers. It's also really important going into a situation like this that you understand the difference between anonymous and confidential. Anonymous means that they don't know who the hell you are, they have no information about you. You are completely anonymous and can disappear like a ghost in the wind whenever you feel like. Confidential means that they were given the information, they do have the information, but they won't share it with anyone. Unless, of course, it's subpoenaed by law enforcement, in which case your provider has absolutely no choice or say in that. They are legally mandated to provide that information when the court of law or law enforcement is requesting it. When it comes to just anonymous pregnancy testing, that's a little bit easier to access. There is, of course, the at home test, which are not as accurate as the medical grade ones, of course, but it is an option. And there are some health centers and pregnancy help centers that will give you anonymous pregnancy testing. What ones you have access to depends very heavily on where you are in the United States. So that's not something I can really help with without knowing your exact location. There are resources online that can help you find those. When it comes to pregnancy help centers specifically, though, you do need to be careful because a lot of them are actually not accredited medical facilities and many don't even employ qualified healthcare professionals. They're just pro life organizations, which is not helpful if you are pregnant, regardless of what you plan to do with the pregnancy. I wish that I had better answers. I wish that I had better solutions, but the truth is, nobody does. We're all just kind of trying to figure this out as we go along, and we're all just kind of lost. This political climate has damaged so much and taken so much away from us, and I am extremely fucking pissed about it. But the truth is, we're probably going to be dealing with the ramifications of this for years after it's over. And hopefully, as time goes on, as we're learning to deal with this more and more, Hopefully, more resources will become available, and I will still be here to talk about that when or if they do.